Welcome to Loves the Rights.
Hey, hey.
Love the Rights. Love the Rights. Love the Rights.
Hey, loves.
Hey, loves. Welcome.
Welcome.
to Loves the Rights.
Love
Hey.
is the right spot. Come
Yes,
on.
guys. Well, listen, we are the Rights.
We're the rights.
And Alonzo, what is the name of this show?
It's the right spot.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And what is the right spot?
Love is the right spot.
Love
is the right
It's
spot.
the right spot.
You
Love
know?
is always the right
It's always
spot.
the right spot.
Listen,
you know?
guys, and we love to push love out
love
there. It is so
to push
much
love.
hatred in the world, but this is
Yes.
one place that you can come
on.
and get love.
Get love.
But also,
get life. You can get
all
laughter.
love,
you know
life,
what I'm saying?
laughter.
What
Yes.
we doing? What we doing?
Today.
Come on.
What's today?
Today. Special.
Ooh.
Special
Ooh,
day.
Today is my special day.
Today
Yes.
is
It is.
my queen,
Uh-huh.
my empress,
Ooh,
Chanel's
It's my birthday.
41st birthday.
It's my birthday.
Come on, give me some sugar.
Mm-hmm. It's my birthday.
It's your birthday.
Hey guys, listen in the comments.
Shine a light on.
Shine light and say
Ooh.
happy birthday
Shine
to
a light
me.
on.
Say happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
In the comments.
Come on.
Listen,
Happy
and
solar
we
return. Be
also
going.
we also want you to share,
Come on.
hit that share button.
Yes, hit that share
we
button.
Thank you guys so much.
We thank you so much.
The past episodes,
Mhm.
you guys have been sharing,
Yes.
commenting, conversing,
Yes.
chatting, inboxing us,
Yes.
all of that good stuff, and we greatly appreciate
greatly
it. We do
appreciate
not
it.
take it for
We
granted.
do not take it for
We
granted.
read them all.
Listen.
We try to get back to
Listen.
you guys as soon as we are able to do that.
Right.
Listen, social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
Yes.
and YouTube,
on.
and our website.
Yes.
Please don't forget to
Loves
support. We
TWS.
have LovesTWS merchandise. We have
Come on.
sweatshirts. We have hoodies,
Yes.
t-shirts. We have so
She
many
running it all
things.
down
Yeah,
right
we
now.
have
Let's
a lot
go.
of things coming in store or
Come
whatever in 2021. But we thank you
2021.
guys for your support.
We really,
On
really,
tonight,
really
though,
appreciate
On
your
tonight,
support.
we are so happy to do this episode.
This particular episode. This is episode
Episode-
what? 22?
Episode number 22.
Episode number 22.
Yes,
Come on
and
with it.
last week we did a live last week, and we talked about refocusing your love.
Just reshifting your focus when it
And
comes to
listen, in all different
things.
types of
You know what I mean?
relationships, right? So we
Any
talked
relationship.
about any relationship last week, right?
Right.
The parent and child relationship,
Parent and
husband,
child.
wife,
Husband and wife.
all that stuff.
Come on.
Now this week,
You
though,
look cute too.
thank you so much, babe.
Okay, come on
Listen,
with it.
cut it, okay?
Yes, all right,
all
all
right,
right.
all right.
Come on.
This week,
This week,
we are talking about
yes,
relationship walls.
relationship walls.
Whew. Wait a minute.
Like walls?
Walls.
Walls.
Like walls in a house.
Like walls in the house.
Yes.
Okay.
Is there a heart
Is there a heart
in a house?
in the house tonight?
Tonight, huh?
Tonight. Come
Stand
on.
up.
Stand up.
Right.
Woo.
Wait a minute. Wait
Listen.
A minute. And Luther said,
What'd he say?
do, 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 do.
Doo doo.
Right. And he said, house
House
is not a home.
is not a home
When there's no one there
when there's no one
to turn the key.
to turn the key. Come on with it.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. I'm about to. My
We
eyes
talking
is
about
watering
walls.
right now.
We talking about walls.
We listen. These lyrics right here will take you somewhere. You don't even know right now. I'm about to get
Listen,
teary eyed.
We talk about walls now. Okay?
Walls.
That's it.
Relationship walls. Come on with it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're saying to yourself, all right, Chanel, Mazo, what are y'all talking
What are y'all
about
dealing
on
with right
tonight?
now? Come
What is a relationship
What is
wall?
a
You may not
relationship
even know that.
Okay. come
But listen, we talked about it in some previous episodes, right?
on.
We talked about foundations and
Foundations
relationships.
and
We talk
relationships.
about communication and
Communications.
relationships. Last week I said, like you said, we talk about refocusing your love in
Right.
different relationships.
Right.
But a lot of times that cannot happen,
That
right?
cannot happen.
Or it's a little halted, it's a little stagnant.
Uh-huh.
It's a lot of issues going on with it. Why?
Why?
Because you have a wall up.
You have a wall up.
So
now watch this though. Go ahead. So go ahead. I ain't gonna interrupt you.
There's some walls that we gonna get into
We're gonna
tonight.
get to some walls.
We got the wall of trust.
The wall of trust.
The wall of hurt.
The wall of hurt.
Wall of consideration.
The wall of consideration.
Wall of understanding.
Walls of understanding.
Wall of vulnerability.
Wall of vulnerability.
Wall of intimacy.
Wall of intimacy.
Wall of quality time.
Wall of quality time.
And last but not least, wall of change and growth.
Wall of change and growth.
So what did you want to say?
Now, I'm just saying, like, no.
That's a lot of walls.
That's a lot of walls.
I want y'all to
That's
take
a lot
it
of
in.
walls,
I mean,
right?
we might not even be able to get into
I'm about to say
everything
that.
tonight.
Right, but what I'm saying is that we here, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Listen, when we think of the walls, we mostly, like you said, we put up walls, meaning like to divide us, right? Like keeping things away or apart. These walls mean that. And something special though.
What's the something special?
Something special is that these walls are in a house. Come on here, congregation.
Oh, wow.
The walls are in a house. And this house.
House of love, right?
House of love.
Right.
But this house is a house, it's a relationship house.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And these walls necessarily aren't meant to separate or push people apart. Right? These walls are needed for the house to maintain
to be able to stand
a proper structure.
That's right, to stand.
This is where we going.
Yes, to support.
Watch this.
To keep. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
And listen, that's the whole thing. Now I'm gonna tell you now.
Come on.
You know, people may say that's watching this episode right now, like, well, listen, you know, most relationships you're gonna have a wall up, right? And that is true. You probably will, especially if you have not dealt with your past hurt.
Right.
You know, you're a little skeptic or whatever about some things or whatever, which kind of leads into that wall of trust situation, which we'll talk about a little bit.
Right.
You know, it could be just a lot of different things, a lot of different reasons why you may have a wall up. But if you love the person, right? If you are married, if you are engaged, if you are seriously dating, those walls, that trust issue, not, you know, having skepticism, not sure, embarrassment, you can't share, just a lot of different things, that particular wall has to come down, right? And then you have to build, you know what I'm saying, a different wall in its place, right? And that wall would be probably the wall of trust or whatever. That's where you would kind of definitely start out. That's why we had it at number 1.
Right.
And as we said in previous episodes, that has to be established, okay? Once that's established, though, then you can kind of get into the wall of vulnerability, you know what I'm saying? And I would definitely say that wall is a wall that would constantly be built upon or added to, whether you're going to paint, whether you're going to make it a accent wall, you know what I'm saying, compared to all the other walls in your relationship and in your marriage, you know, in your engagement process. I would say that because you definitely need to be able to establish vulnerability on different levels as the relationship grows, as the relationship goes on. So I would say, as an example, you know, in the beginning, Alonzo may not have been, you know, a friend or, you know, kind of share, you know, some of his fears or his worries or different things like that men go through with me right away when we first started dating over 15 years ago or so, whatever. But now, you know, if someone asks me, I can probably tell them what my husband's biggest fear is. I can tell them, you know, what, you know, some things that maybe, you know, he's vulnerable about. I wouldn't share it, but I'm just saying I know that I know it now.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right. So that is basically getting to the heart of the person. You know, and again, like you said, that takes time.
Yeah.
The process of the wall in the vulnerability case, you know, is, you know, building it up to a place where it's sturdy enough for you to trust people in the room.
Well, that's a good thing, because opening up to your significant other doesn't just mean talking. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to explore things. You know what I'm saying? Explore life. Explore different ideas, concepts, reasons, and different things like that outside of everything else. So your partner should be able to come to you and share those things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I could interject there and say, kind of, we had the discussion the other day about how in relationships, you know, whatever level the relationship is, whether it be friends, whether it be, you know, parents, or whether it be child parent, or in a marriage.
Right.
When do you talk about life? Right? When do you talk about ideas? When do you talk about goals and visions and things like that? Like, and who do you talk to it about?
Right.
Because if we're not sharing those things that, you know, kind of we think about.
Exactly.
That kind of throws us off when we think about things that now we got to focus on that may not be something that's adding to your life. Right? Like bills, you know what I mean? All of these things that's necessary for life and the changes of life. But when you talk about how do you exist and how do you co-function in this kind of a world, you know, that's the heart to heart that we're talking about.
Listen, some relationships, don't have the proper installation. Okay?
Proper installation. See, wait a minute. The wall
is made of stucco.
It's made of stucco. See, now people who ain't into construction don't really know. They like stucco.
Yeah,
installation. What are they talking about? So with the installation.
So because my thing I'm not finished, because that means that when it gets cold, like it's cold right now,
it's a little nip over
and y'all want to say it's cuffing season and all that good stuff. You want to be with somebody, you know, because you want to cuddle and be warm, whatever. Listen, look, your walls in the relationship can be really cold because it is not properly
insulated. And them walls, like we talked about before, you know, trust, you know what I mean, understanding, vulnerabilities. You know how in some rooms it's colder than other rooms? Because some rooms they got the proper installation and it was built right. They wasn't cheap on that room. But other rooms, it'd be cold in the. You'd be like, man, it's cold in this spot.
Listen,
that's the rooms that we never really spent those times in building those walls up and securing them. That's like the trust in the relationship. You know what I mean? How you don't really feel comfortable sometimes. Come on.
That's like the wall of consideration.
Wall.
We talked about gratitude a little while ago in November or whatever, and consideration, being considerate, you know, to your spouse, to your significant other. It's okay for you to do the dishes sometime. It's okay for you to cook a meal. It's okay for you to do the laundry. You know what I'm saying? It's okay for you to pay the bill. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to say, you know what, babe, I got this today. You take a nap. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the situation is. Consideration goes a long way.
Let me say something about consideration for my people out there. Consideration comes with maturity.
Absolutely.
I don't know if somebody heard that. But a lot of times we're not considerate of others, not on spite. Right? So it's not intentional that we're not trying to give our all and do the things that may need to be done. But what it is that we're so short-sighted because of the lack of experience.
And I will also say selfishness as well. That has to kind of, you have to put a plug. If your wall, any of those walls have selfishness eating at it, you're gonna have to get you some plaster or something and cover the hole and
cover that hole up.
Yeah, because that's not gonna work.
That's not gonna work.
You can't be selfish.
Stuff start running in. Wait a minute. Stuff start running in when you get holes in the wall.
Right. Well, especially when you're married.
Especially when you're married.
Yes, absolutely.
So this house, like even these rooms in the house, right? That's supported by these walls. Right? Go with us right quick. Is important to know that it needs to be maintained throughout the seasons.
Absolutely, it needs to be maintained.
It has to be.
Well, if it doesn't, what is going to support the roof? The roof is going to come in. You ain't going to have no shelter. You ain't going to have no cover.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? And of course, that's where God comes in at, because He covers. You know what I'm saying? the whole relationship, or he should be covering.
Listen.
The marriage. That's the third entity or the third person that should be in your marriage. That's it. God itself. That's all. So, but in actuality, walls of understanding.
Come on.
Listen, there are a lot of times, I don't care how long you've been with the person, you never really truly fully understand. There's different levels, sometimes to how your spouse may move, or your fiance, your living, however the situation is. And you have to kind of be able to bring that to the table. Say, hey, I don't understand why, you're doing this, that, and the third, or what are you thinking about? You know what I'm saying? Why are you handling this like that? And it's okay. That's where the vulnerability still comes in, because you should be able to ask questions.
Asking questions.
It should not be a fear, or a space, within your home, within your relationship wall structure, that you can't ask anything. You should be able to ask any and everything.
But that goes back to the wall of vulnerability.
Right.
Because you putting yourself out there with the question.
Right.
Come on here. And how whoever's going to react that hears it. Right. That you got to be you got to have courage for that.
Right. Absolutely.
Especially in the beginning when you're making those baby steps to try to move, to another level in the relationship, like you said.
Well, you should not have a hard time expressing yourself to your partner or towards your partner.
Wait a minute. Just wait a minute. When you said you should not have a hard time expressing yourself, let's slow down a minute. How many people know how to thoroughly express themselves?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That right there.
Put it out there in the comments.
Put it out there for you.
Hit that share button.
Listen, because we could be going through whatever we going through internally.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And holding it and trying to hold it and think we holding it. But why can't we express the way that we feel and release that thing?
Well, I'm gonna tell you why. It goes into the wall of hurt, okay? And the wall of hurt can exist in a marriage. It can exist in the engagement relationship. It can exist in a seriously dating relationship, okay? And people stay whether they're hurt or not, right? Some people stay and they know that they are hurt, right? And honestly, it's really hard, right? Really hard for them to recover. So what happens is you stay, but then you are nasty to the person. You know what I'm saying? Everything that the person does, it gets on your nerves. You know what I'm saying? You really I'm trying to think about the word right now. It's escaping me, but it'll come back to me. You just you're
content.
Resentment.
Oh,
sorry,
resentment. Okay.
You resent. You know what I'm saying? That you are still with the person or still in love with the person, but hurt is there. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you can't expression, Alonzo, you hurt me, I hurt you, all of those things or whatever, then we have a problem.
We have a problem. Houston. Houston.
Yeah.
We have a problem.
Absolutely.
Because what happens now is this festers.
Yes.
And we think we can sweep it under the rug. And all it's going to take is something little.
Yes.
You know what I mean? To really blow it all out of proportion, and
you should be
it's
able
not about
to,
what happened.
And just like we had a conversation with our son, him and his sister were going through something for a hot little second. It wasn't a serious argument, but he accused her of doing something, and in actuality she didn't do it. So we said to him, well, listen, you gotta apologize on that, because you was going ham, you was about to be all upset for nothing, and she didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? But street code says, as a man, you can be humble. Same thing as a woman. Humble yourself enough to say, my bad, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry I accused you, or whatever the situation is. And that's the thing in relationships. You have to be able to apologize. You have to be able to offer apology, sincere apology, right?
But that's
not because what the person wants to hear, what you think they want to hear. You know what I'm saying? So that helps get rid of, or helps restore that wall, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And okay, the wall of hurt, then you kind of bring about understanding. We talked about consideration.
Right.
We talked a little bit about trust. So all of these walls are great. They're standing pretty good if you have all of these things going on right now.
But at the same time, when you said that, the learning how to apologize, that's just learning to be considerate.
Yes.
Again, sometimes it's just okay to agree to disagree, and sometimes it's not okay. Sometimes it's okay to have the discussion so you guys can get a clearer what? Understanding.
Well,
that's
see,
the point.
now this is the thing too. Now with this wall of understanding, right?
Come on
now. I want y'all guys to hear this, right?
Hear this.
Let the past.
Let the past.
Stay in the past.
Stay in the past.
If you're disagreeing, if you're arguing about something,
right?
Can't bring up something from last year. Shouldn't want to bring up something from a couple of months ago. Right. Especially if you already discussed it.
Wait a minute.
Tabled it.
Right.
It's not fair to bring it back.
Right. Now, it sounds good.
It does. It does.
Wait a minute.
It does.
She sound good saying it.
Yep, sure does.
Wait a minute. It ain't that easy.
It's not, but I'm just saying that is going to help maintain that wall. You know what I'm saying?
That wall.
Yeah, well, listen, you got to do what you got to do.
Listen.
All right, and then, listen, okay.
Go ahead.
Wall of quality time, which we always talk about that, right?
Of quality time.
Yes, right?
Whew.
So that's another accent wall. That's another appropriate wall. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, if you don't give quality time,
see now, hold on. Let me say this. Wait a minute for somebody, right? Quality time, babe.
Yes.
What's quality time to you might not be quality time.
Yes.
For her.
That's true. That is true.
Wait, that's real serious because I had to get that. Because
true.
I might think quality time, listen, we together. You know what I mean? We together. Wait, what's happening? What you mean? We spend no quality time. We together every 6 days out of the week. You talking about we ain't spend no quality time. Wait a minute. That's not what I'm talking about.
Right. So quality time for her. Maybe like I always say, go out. Go to dinner, get a drink, go, ice cream date, take a stroll in the park. I mean,
in the park.
Listen, it may not be a lot right now because, the pandemic, but, pre-pandemic or whatever, you would go to the movies and, do different things, whatever, bowling, skating, whatever your interests were, you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Finding out what your spouse's interests are and kind of, entertaining that, you know what I'm saying, every now and then. I'm not saying you have to do it every week, but at least once a month or something like that, especially if you know that that's what they really love and like, right?
Absolutely.
But I was going to say that if you don't give quality time, then you may have a spouse, a fiance, or a boyfriend or girlfriend looking for open floor plan. Hello.
Now, see, you don't understand.
Honey, listen.
What an open floor plan is about. We talking about walls that support the roof.
We talking about a house of love.
A house of love. Relationship walls.
Plan may be great for a regular house, right? You might say, okay,
wait a minute.
I want to be able to see through the living room,
the dining room. Studios don't even have a lot of walls. Go ahead with
that. Is true.
Come on.
But I'm just saying, but listen, a studio is designed for usually one person.
Right.
You catch the drift?
Come on. As you start adding more walls, wait a minute.
Okay.
Go ahead though.
So I'm just saying, open floor plan made me open relationships.
Open relationships.
And I'm gonna just say this. Listen, please don't mislead the people on. Please don't. I mean, if if that's what you're about and that's what you're into, you need to say that in the beginning.
That's #open floor plans.
Yeah, you need to say that in the beginning.
Wait a minute.
If that's the lifestyle or type of relationship that you prefer.
If that's your thing.
That's right.
Right? Keep it gangster and keep it honest.
That's right.
Because what happens is, even in those open floor plans, even in those open relationships, even in those houses that have open floor plans, they do have walls. Not that many though. But that means that there has to still be some kind of structure. Wait a minute. You just out here on autopilot. You doing who and whoever. Wait a minute. We got Houston. They're is a problem.
Oh yes, there is definitely a problem.
We got a problem.
Listen, so then from the quality time,
come on,
we get into wall of intimacy, right?
Wall
of
intimacy.
Listen, wall of intimacy should honestly be always well supported. Supported. It should be decorated. You could put pictures. You could put a painting. I don't know, mosaic, whatever you want to put on
this
it.
Wall.
This wall needs to be colorful.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, I hear that. This wall needs to be special.
It absolutely should be special all the time. Okay, and it doesn't mean sex.
Doesn't mean that.
But it should be present. It's nothing. Of course, nothing wrong with that or whatever. But the wall of intimacy needs to be there. Okay, I love when my husband gives me foot rubs, right? And he loves when I give him back rubs and all of these things, right? And that's just one level. You know what I'm saying? It's touch. You know what I'm saying? But other people, it could be other things. It could be poetry. It could be music. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever, a special song, candlelit dinner. You know what I'm saying?
These are all customary
things to get you in the mood. Right. All of those things, but I'm just saying that particular wall in your relationship, that particular wall in your house of love needs to be the strongest wall.
The strongest. Now, watch this though. You need to also investigate what your significant other would like.
Oh, absolutely.
In regards to intimacy.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like she says, not always about the intercourse.
Right.
Some things that you could do or learn to do.
Right.
You know, that's subtle.
Right.
So you could be in the groove.
Right. Well, I would definitely encourage you to learn your partner, to talk to them. And I would say, again, it goes back to the vulnerability wall.
Right.
You need to be absolutely vulnerable, especially if you're married. If you're married, the marriage bed is undefiled.
Right.
So at the end of the day, honey, if you can't be vulnerable with your husband, you can't be vulnerable with your wife. Beyond Houston, we have a problem.
Come on.
Earth, we have a problem. You know what I'm saying? We just...
Scotty.
What planet? Yeah, BBO, Scotty. What planet you on, right?
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? And that comes down to whatever it is. So I just feel like that particular wall, like I said, needs to be heavily accented. It needs to be heavily supported. It needs to be bolted. It needs to be paid attention to. And you know, that leads us to the whole maintenance part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen. If you know that there are cracks in the walls that we just mentioned, just a little bit of ones that we mentioned so far, because there's so many of them, then you need to be inspecting it. You need to be trying to get that repaired because you don't want any water damage. As you said, you don't want any rodent issues, meaning
you don't want these things. Somebody
coming in and out, or whatever the case may be, because they can see the crack. They can smell the crack. And I'm going to tell you.
And wait a minute,
people, go ahead. Those issues, you know, that we talked about makes the person, makes the spouse or whatever susceptible, you know, especially if the relationship is not strong. You know what I'm saying? If the house is not really being supported, you know, any little thing, any little person that says, hey, boo, you cute. Hi, handsome, hi this, hi that. That's all it would need to start. You know what I'm saying? But especially if the wall is weak.
It's weak, right. But that's the maintenance that you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, remember that song? You know, I'll be your maintenance man. You either you gonna maintain it, or you're going to open the door for somebody else to maintain
it.
You know, and like you said, with these walls, when they get the cracks, sometimes you don't know it's a crack there. Watch this. You don't know it's a crack there. But there's signs, you know, that there's something stable with the foundation. You get leaks. You get leaks. You get stuff that happen. And you know, that lets you know.
And you also see a shift in the foundation.
You see a shift.
We talked about that in a previous episode. But like you said, there can be a wall and there can be a leak behind the wall. You know what I'm saying? Where you actually don't see, but you just see maybe a little bubbling behind the pane
it's something.
Or whatever. You know, it's something that is there or whatever. But that's a sign, you know what I'm saying, that is damaged. That's a sign that something is compromised, right? And that's a sign also to tell you that it needs to be fixed, right? It needs to be worked on. It can be worked on.
Right.
And you will want to hurry up and fix it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hurry up this way you can. Listen. And get it fixed. Okay? Listen.
But these walls,
you gotta do it.
You gotta do it. These walls are but levels.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Right. And that's really going into our, lyrical lesson.
Yes, it got to be more levels.
It's got to be more levels.
That's right.
It has to be.
Yes.
Shout out to Bilal.
Yes.
Islam.
Yes.
Shout out to Bilal.
Yes.
But let me tell you something.
Growth.
Levels in growth and building and maintaining these walls are so important that you don't even realize that, because what you do within your house, those that witness it, you know what I mean? They're going to ultimately mirror most of your behavior, if not all of it, especially those of us with children, and those that are maybe not even just in the house too, how you handle yourself in your relationship. People watch you.
Yes, they do.
People pay attention.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They want to may have a strong foundational house or home for themselves one day.
That's
you know
true.
What I mean?
And it's not like you're doing it just for them, because
you're not putting on a show.
The last wall would be, the wall of change and growth. And I would definitely say, once you start repairing all these other walls, and stop kind of having certain walls up and putting bringing certain walls down and bringing certain walls up, building certain walls or whatever, and restoring them. Like I said, adding accents to them, making it colorful, making your relationship colorful, right? It's gonna help you, you know what I'm saying? And it can be restored, and it's gonna be as if it was brand new, right?
Brand new.
But you have to maintain it. You absolutely have to maintain it. And as we always say, there is work to
be done on every level.
Yes.
On every level, is work to be done.
Any relationship can be beautiful. Any relationship can be great, but you have to work towards it. You know what I'm saying? And again, your house doesn't look like your neighbor's house. It doesn't look like the house across the street. Don't try to make it do that. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Work with what's working for you. You never want to compare, your house necessarily to something. You might like something that you see from the outside, and that's the outside. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's the outside, but we're talking about the internal process of a relationship.
Boom. I liken that to interior design.
Exactly.
Right? You might like the way they got these laid out. Right. You know what I mean? That's why I say, be careful with how you carry yourself, because you are a walking example.
Absolutely.
Right? Walking testimony, as they would say.
Absolutely.
Even if you don't know it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, listen.
Let's go.
We don't want it to be Humpty Dumpty and the walls come tumbling down. You know what I'm saying? We don't.
He fell off the wall.
Listen, we don't want it Little Red Riding Hood. Like, no. Not stable. You know what I'm saying?
That's the Three Little Pigs.
Oh, right. Whatever. You know what I was trying to say.
I see where you was going with it. Listen. House blown down. You know what I'm saying? How you built your house. Basically, is what that story is about. You know what I mean? So listen.
Well, again, it goes back to having that right material.
Building structure.
Listen, you want to have a concrete wall, a stucco wall, a fake wall, paper wall. I don't know. Listen, don't let it be paper mache, sticks, and whatever. Let it be brick. Brick house.
Come on. The relationship walls are serious.
Listen, maintain your relationship walls.
Maintain your relationship walls.
Yes.
And it's very important to do so.
Yes.
And we ask those out there that enjoyed the show, we ask that you review it again.
Yes.
So you can look at your relationships, right, in multiple levels, and say, well, how are these walls in my relationships? And can I do more to maintain them? And share this with someone that you love, that you want to get their opinion and their, observation on how the relationship walls work between you two and in their lives. You know what I mean? So we're here for y'all.
We are here for you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you.
It's my birthday.
Thank you again.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Peace and love. Peace and love. Chapter 22.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's what we're doing right now.
Maintain those relationship walls.
Maintain those relationship walls.
Yes.
And we appreciate your time.
Yes. You have now reached.
You have just reached.
You have just been.
To the right spot.
To the right spot.
Be encouraged.
The right spot. It's my birthday.
It's her birthday.
It's my birthday.
Be inspired.
Yes, guys.
To be great. Peace and love.
Yes.
Talk to you.
Welcome to Love's the Right Space. Hey. Love the right. Love the right. Love the right.